Hi, I'm Tim Deuce. I'm a dad and I'm a psychologist. And I'm going to speak to you today not about 36 life-changing hacks to yada yada. No, I'm going to just share with you one simple but pivotal, profound, all-important thing that I promise you is going to transform your relationship with your child. That's how important it is. Stay with me then, please, just for a little while. I promise you, you're going to get great value from this. Your child is going to get great value from this. And it's a special little reward. At the end of the video, I've got another little treat in store for you as well. Okay, let's get right on with it. So, I'm going to talk about the business of praise, acknowledgement, recognition, positive reinforcement. Call it what you will. Now, this issue is of particular importance. You might have heard the phrase that babies cry for it and soldiers die for it. You know, it's amazing what we'll all do for the nod. Now, how do we use it? What's common sense? What's a balance? What's the right way to use this? Well, let's look at the wrong ways to use this. If we look at the two wrong extremes, straight away, that gives us more of a handle on what we should be doing. Now, I've seen parents do things like completely withholding recognition from their children. It makes their children very insecure. It keeps them on the back foot, and boy, it certainly keeps them under control. But in the long term, it's very harmful. Those children become very shy, have very low self-esteem, and have great difficulty as the years go by, and they have to live in the world as adults. Now we look at the other extreme as well. We've seen those cases. I'm sure you have. Someone who's read some self-help book about praise being good for children, and every time their kid so much as picks his nose, they go off into paroxysms of, oh my God, oh, that's awesome, you know, or whatever. That doesn't cut it very far, does it? Any kid can see through that in an instant. So they're two crazy extremes. We're definitely not going to go there. We're going to talk instead about how we're using praise. Now, the common model you will find that most people do is they kind of think to themselves, well, if he does something good, then I'll praise him. And if he does something bad, I'll tell him off. And if he's okay, well, I guess he's okay. That sounds like a good idea, doesn't it? No, it's actually a flawed strategy. And I will explain why. See, the problem with that is that if the child does something great and you praise him, now he does that something great again and again and again, then you get used to it and accept it as being his normal behavior. So he doesn't get praise for that anymore. So he's got to jump higher to get your praise. And when he does, you praise him, and then he does it again and again and again, and then you don't praise him anymore for that because, well, hey, that's just what he does. He's just getting on with it. And so what's happening is he's having to jump through higher and higher and higher hoops just to get some acknowledgement from you, just to get some attention from you. Mind you, if he does something wrong, boy, he will get attention from you like that. What's the easy way for him to get attention from you? Jumping through higher and higher and higher and higher hoops, or annoying you? Which is it going to be? I know which it's going to be. I've seen fascinating videos of real sort of, problem children, and seeing the child winding the parent up, the parent going into screaming meltdown, and the kid's face smiling because that kid had finally got what he wanted. He'd got that parent's attention. And that kid preferred this screaming, melting down parent's attention to no attention. That's the weakness of that strategy. And there's another weakness in this strategy as well, and that is that if a kid's just getting on with it, well, hold on a second. Isn't that actually what we want more than anything for our children? If you've got a child that gets on with it, that child is likely to be successful in life. Ever heard that the most successful thing in life is just to, the most successful people just show up? They're the ones, they show up, they get on with it. That's what we need, kids who will get on with it. And so shouldn't we then be rewarding the getting on with it? And that's what we need to do. So if your child just plays quietly, I mean, that's great. Enables you to get on with something. Oh, thank you. Thank you for playing so nicely today. That was lovely. Well done. And you know something? It was a big help to me, because when you were playing there quietly, getting on with stuff, I was able to get on with stuff. It was really good. Or, if your child's just good company for you for half an hour, thank you. Thank you for, for just being so nice. Well, thank you for making me laugh. Thank you for just being here today and just being so, thank you for being so sweet. Thank you for being so nice today. Whatever, And of course, you can ask your child's help for stuff like this as well. Can you help me out today? I've got a lot of stuff I've got to do. And it would really help me if, if you're able to get on with stuff as well, so I can get on with stuff. What would you like to do? Oh, okay. Well, let's get you sorted out so you can do those things. And then later on, you say, oh, thank you. Thank you for getting on with those things. That helped me to get on with things. Can you see how valuable that is and how easy that is to do, actually? It's really easy. And it's really pleasant. It's really pleasant for you, and it's pleasant for them. For a child for mum or dad to thank them or encourage them or value them, recognize them, praise them, that is the most important thing in the world for them. And from your point of view, it makes a huge difference to you. Not only is it, you're going to have a much happier kid, so that's going to give you a happier life for a start. But also, when you say those kind of things to your child, it makes you feel better. You might have seen things where apparently pet lovers tend to live longer and have less heart attacks and stuff like that than non-pet lovers. And there's a very simple reason why, and that is they spend their time stroking their pets, and by doing so, by making their pets feel nice, they end up making themselves feel nice, which is why they tend to live longer. So, if you're actually being really nice to your kids and, stroking them along in that kind of way, you're a much nicer person to be around, and you're a much nicer person to be. And you're going to be a lot happier with yourself as well as happy with them. And you're going to live longer. And when you live longer, you're going to be able to enjoy your kids longer, and they're going to enjoy you for longer. So let's just recap what this is all about so that we don't get too lost in the details. It's this thing of where, sure, if they do something annoying, then, fair enough. Say to them, oh, I'm a bit disappointed, in that. Personally, I think that's not a good idea. Really, I would suggest, frankly, if you were to do this instead, that would probably work a lot better, you can say, in that situation. The kid does something awesome, walks into the room and does a double somersault and a backflip. Oh, what? Oh, wow! Then, you can go off into wow mode over something like that. But this thing in the middle is the deal I'm talking about today. It's the stuff in the middle. It's the getting on with it behavior. It's just being, your kid being a regular guy. Your kid being a regular guy, being a mensch, getting on with their little life there. Reward that. Yeah, just reward it and encourage it and acknowledge it and value it for what it is. Because actually, in the big, long scheme of things, that is the most important part. And that is what is going to make your kid's whole life happy and successful. Yeah, you heard it here first. Now, I've got another treat for you. I did promise you that was the case. And that's my fabulous music of the day, which is going to follow in a couple of seconds. And while you're listening to the music, what I'd like you to do is to give it a big thumbs up, to subscribe, hit the bell, and I'm going to see you in the next video. Cue the music.
It's so strange how one day slips into another so easily. And time slips on by, and how we are turns into how we used to be. Without love, it's all a waste of time. Come and gone, just like an empty sigh. With love, you just gotta do it there. That's why 24/7 I'm in love with you. 24/7, what more can I do? 24/7, you're on my mind. And 24/7, ain't enough my time. People say life goes by in a whisper. I want a road. I wanna look back on my life and remember we did it and more. Looking out as far as we can see. Being all we dreamed ever be. I want nothing less for you and me. That's why 24/7 I'm with you. 24/7, what more can I do? 24/7, on my mind. And 24/7, and of my time. I'm in love with you. 24/7, what more can I do? 24/7.